Amman Ahmed is the founder of Music for Pets, which has been producing music for pets since 2011. Amman founded the platform with the intention of having a positive impact on the mental health of dogs, and Music for Pets' two main channels, RelaxMyDog and RelaxMyCat, focus on relaxing music, TV for dogs and cats, advice and how-to vlogs, and they also make video games for pets. The success of Music for Pets and Amman's story has been featured in media outlets across the globe, with millions of fans worldwide and over 150 million streamed minutes. The platform is a global phenomenon in the pet world. They have proven feedback from the community that their music helps 87% of dogs that try it, and their whole library of content is available on YouTube, music streaming platforms, and connected TV devices. Amman Ahmed from Music for Pets, RelaxMyDog, RelaxMyCat, welcome to the LifeLab. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So just want to start off with a little bit more context about RelaxMyDog and RelaxMyCat. So you founded in 2011, right?
Yeah, around about 2011-12, yeah.
2011, and you've got 50 million cats and dogs around the world watching your content.
Correct, yeah.
That's really crazy. You've got 50 million cat and dog fans. So when I was doing a bit of research about the platforms, I discovered that apparently the most popular genre of music for dogs is reggae music. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. It is. There was actually research done on that as well. I think it was a university in Scotland that did some research around that. So yeah, that's the area.
So when you started, did you just, how did you start coming up with the content that you thought dogs and cats would like?
So because we were making music for humans originally, then we just started to kind of diversify and then see what would work and what didn't work, and it was just experimenting with different like frequencies and sound waves and all that, and then eventually we just started collecting data. And then we started to get an idea of like what was working on dogs, what was not working on dogs, and then just iterate from there. So it was a slow learning process.
And you have a producer that you work with, right?
I do, yeah.
So he produces the content.
Yeah.
And obviously dogs can hear sounds that humans can't. So you've got sounds in that music that dogs like.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And so tell us a bit about, the things that a bit more. So reggae music, and what other things have you found over the last, 12, 13 years that is the most popular for dogs to relax them?
It's kind of a range because our user base has got bigger. It's niched itself down. And every dog is so unique and so individual. And so you've got the reggae, classical, jazz as well.
So some dogs prefer classical and jazz then.
Yeah. And some prefer like oriental. Just a range. We're always experimenting. We even did Christmas music.
And how was that?
We launched it, I think, a few days before Christmas. It got loads of views. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because we took inspiration from like Christmas music, and we thought, okay, now how do we edit this and create our own version that's good for humans and dogs to listen to together. And then it just
was really popular.
Yeah, because on our because we distribute our albums on all the music streaming services. One of them that stayed popular for quite a while, looking at the metrics, was some albums, Christmas dog albums that we released like a year or two ago. They've always stayed in our own charts of all the data that we look at.
That's so funny. So they just maybe get used to it over Christmas and they like to listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about videos? You said that, or I read somewhere that you were talking about content that dogs like to watch. So some dogs like to watch other dogs go for walks on the beach. Is that right?
Yeah. So the dog TV aspect is a range of content. Once again, it started to niche itself down because we the more users we get, the more behaviors
You can
we have to
analyze.
cater for as well.
Okay.
So some dogs like watching other dogs. Some dogs like watching sheep.
Like watching sheep.
Yeah.
Like what, border collies or something, or
Yeah.
just
I don't know.
sheep dogs, or just some dogs?
I think just a group of dogs. It doesn't have to be border collies, but yeah, some dogs are weird. But yeah, sheep and what else? Like birds. Obviously, virtual walks,
Virtual walks.
drone footage. Yeah, just a range of stuff.
And what
because-
about cats? Do they? I presume they like watching birds. Do they?
Yeah. So cats, just love watching birds.
They love watching birds or goldfish or something, or
Birds. Actually, one thing we did experiment with recently was creating videos of a mouse coming in and out of a hole.
okay, and they love that.
They love it. They get the most views.
And because you said your mission was to kind of create music to relax dogs.
Yeah.
Because I guess a lot of dogs have anxiety, especially if they're alone for a lot of the day, if their owners are working. But do cats have anxiety? They don't seem to have anxiety as much as dogs do.
Yeah, cats are harder. A lot harder.
They're kind of like, they don't really care that much.
Yeah, harder to read, harder to entertain. And it is, naturally a smaller audience
Okay.
compared to the dogs, but it's still growing, and it is, that you just have to
Keep trying.
Yeah, keep on trying.
They seem like a more difficult audience for sure.
100%.
They're
very
not
fussy.
Very fussy. They're more like, just feed me, or I will plot your demise.
Yeah.
They're not as loving.
Just feed me and leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's it.
So tell us about a bit about where your upbringing, and where you're from. You're from Manchester. You grew up in Manchester in the UK.
No, I grew up in Leeds.
Oh, you grew up in Leeds. Okay.
Yeah. Grew up in Leeds. It was an interesting upbringing. Didn't go to the best school.
Okay.
My parents, I guess, kind of grew up in it was a bit of a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a bit is an understatement. Like a massive struggle.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah, sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I think going to school was a really interesting lesson, because it just taught you how to be quite streetwise and how to adapt very quickly.
So you mean it was a tough school?
It was a tough school, yeah. It was crazy. And then even playing football, like 5-a-side, 7-a-side, Sunday league, etc. There were not many brown players.
Really?
Yeah,
So it was a predominantly white.
Yeah, because
neighborhood.
they were all pub teams, so they were all linked to a pub. So when you join a team, it's linked to a pub, like a Sunday league team.
Okay.
So yeah, that was an interesting experience for sure.
So you mean you experienced a lot of racism?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm kind of grateful for that. Sounds a bit weird.
Why? What did you take from
I think
those experiences?
it just made you tougher.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed you to kind of, I guess, detach from like a difficult situation and really analyze it properly.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that, I wouldn't change it. I'd keep it the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think all those things helped me be an entrepreneur.
So you grew up in Leeds and then you moved to Manchester when you finished school?
Yeah, for uni, yeah.
For uni?
Just about got in.
And
Just about made it into uni.
And how did uni go for you?
Uni was good because it was a range of people.
Yeah.
Like you had people from private school, wherever.
Mm.
And
The University of Manchester then?
The smart uni. Not
The nice-
Not the other one.
Don't want to say that.
Exactly. But just about that was really good because you're out, you're living by yourself, and you're just meeting different
Loads of
people.
people.
You're learning to adapt to different types of people, different environments, different events, and it was good.
And is that where you came up with the idea for Relax My Dog?
So I came up with the idea. I think it was a bit of a journey, and where the dots connected together.
Okay.
And it was when I was doing my internship at Hewlett Packard,
Okay, you did an internship at Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, in between.
So what did you study? You studied computer science?
No, it was computing.
Computing, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of a softer version of computer science.
Okay.
For the people who couldn't get into computer science. So
that's really funny.
Yeah, so I got into Hewlett Packard as an intern, and you feel that it's amazing. It's the corporate world. I'm wearing a suit. I got a corporate Amex.
I made it.
Yeah. And then I saw this guy. The salespeople. They were driving Porsches, and really dressed well.
Wow.
And I thought, I want to be that guy. I want to be the salesperson. And then I got a sales mentor, and ended up chatting to him. So his name was Matt Redshaw, and he told me about this book called The 4-Hour Workweek. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was just a bit scared. I thought, let me build a corporate career first, and then be an entrepreneur, maybe at the age of 40 or whatever it is. And
so Tim Ferriss's book.
Yeah.
So even when you were in university, you were like, I'm going to start my own business one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
From day one, I wanted to start a business. So
were your parents did they have their own business?
My dad, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like his siblings do as well.
Okay. So it's kind of like in your DNA type thing to do be your own boss, basically. Yeah.
Exactly. So he gave me this book, Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek, and that just changed. That just opened up everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, in what way?
It just made me realize that I could be an entrepreneur right now. Like,
I don't need to wait till I'm 40. Yeah.
I don't need to save tens of thousands of pounds. I can do it right now. And then then it just opened up like loads of other areas of exploring, in different areas of like books and side hustles and all this stuff. And then the idea came about, I think, just when I graduated. That's when it came about.
How did it form in your head? Like, it's such a, I mean, at that stage there was nobody doing that. So, and did you love pets, or what made you think of, I'm going to make content for pets?
I think because I went back to uni, did my final year, and the first business was music to help people sleep.
Okay.
And it was, Tim Ferriss, build a digital product, and, to solve something that you're passionate about. And at the time I was kind of like struggling to sleep, and I thought, what about music around that? And that started doing quite well, and then doing really well on YouTube. And then at the time we were one of the first people to get invited as a YouTube partner to monetize your content.
Okay.
And then it started doing well from there. And then I started seeing people saying, oh, I use this on my dog. Or
So people were using the music to help you sleep, the music you were making to help people sleep for their dog, to relax their dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there we thought, oh, what about maybe doing a bit of research into this? And my music producer at the time, Ricardo, his dog was having anxiety, and he was the only guy I could afford at the time, because he was in El Salvador, and they're cheap. music producers. So and his cat and dog had noise anxiety from all the
in the city, the like hustle and bustle of the city, I guess. There.
Yeah. No, not the hustle and bustle. It was more obviously the hustle and bustle, but also the violence.
Okay.
Because El Salvador is one of the most violent countries in the world,
with like gang feuds and things
all
like that.
Stuff. Yeah. So he was experimenting at the same time, so we put a bit more effort into it, and then we just put it out there, and then slowly it started to grow.
And now it's a multi-million-dollar business with crazy profit margins. But from what I've read, it's like 70% profit margins or something, the business.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And you've had a different kind of journey than most entrepreneurs, because you didn't go down the VC or the angel investor route, right? You made a conscious decision to just grow the business yourself and not exit. Can you talk a bit about why you decided to do that?
I think it comes down to my first experience.
Okay.
which was with VC-backed business. So Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat was a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I took it full-time in 2018, but it was a side hustle because I had another music app idea.
Okay.
And it was a music discovery platform, and it was doing quite well, actually. We developed the products, artists were uploading content to our platform, and we took VC money, we took angel money.
So you raised capital.
We had advisors, we had, pretty much co-founders, all this stuff. And it was an interesting experience, for sure.
In what way?
I think, in a sense, just you have to continuously be on this treadmill to raise money. So you're not really running your business in the sense of the areas that you're passionate about, the areas that you're going to add value in. And it just became like pitch decks, pitching, the amount of time you waste.
On doing pitch decks and pitching.
And that people's opinions and all this stuff, all that time wasted, you could have just built your own revenue streams yourself. So, and it came down to just it getting very political.
In what way? You mean because you're the founder and entrepreneur, and sometimes I guess advisors or finance experts. You mean like kind of relating to you as an entrepreneur, or what way was it?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I would say, so if a VC gives you money and they also say, "Oh, I think you should do this,"
it's like you need to do that.
Yeah. You feel obliged to do that because they've given you money, even though you think it's like a bullshit idea.
Okay.
You're
like, you have to do it.
Yeah. You kind of have to do it. So, I guess I was saying yes to a lot of things, and it was like quite distracting. And then just other things in the sense that we had, like at one point we were going to do a partnership with Snapchat.
Okay.
And I got introduced to Evan Spiegel.
Oh, wow.
The day Forbes listed him the youngest billionaire in the world. Okay. I had a call with him.
No way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we were going to do a partnership, and we got this contract and all this stuff, and it was just one of those areas where we I took that back to my VCs, and they just didn't see any value in that partnership.
How? What, they didn't think it was a good idea to partner with Snapchat at that point in time?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird one. I have to obviously be very careful about what I say, but
I know. Yeah.
It was just one of those things where there was just too much seeking permission, too many board meetings, all this stuff, and I think it got to a point where I thought, this is just not like, I can go and raise more money, but it just became too messy.
So you decided then to kind of change your path and focus on Relax My Dog and Relax My Cat from there.
Yeah, changed my path. I obviously, like, I did ruin my relationship with my team as well, because I didn't know how to be a CEO, how to be a leader, or any of this stuff. And I think the key areas when my team, I remember I came into the office once, and I thought, why is everyone like so moody? And then one of them was like, right, Amman, let's go into the meeting room. We need to talk. And there's 12 of them. And one of me. And they just listed out all the problems that I was, maybe I was creating a lot of negative energy, and being very, very stingy as well.
You mean financially?
Financially, because we were running out of money, and I was struggling to raise. So, at that time, I remember my team kind of, what was it? They're just all like laid into me.
that
It was a good lesson.
But that's what I was going to say. It must have been a really good learning experience for you, because obviously with your other business that is so successful now, you probably took, I mean,
a lot, yeah.
Because how many, you have about 20 people working in Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat, right?
That's right, yeah.
And you have people that I've read that you've had really long-term members of staff and things. So obviously you learned how to be a CEO and a leader then.
Yeah,
So
I did.
do you think that was because of
100%.
that
Yeah. I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for my team at that time to take me into that boardroom and tell me why I'm shit, or tell me why I'm like stingy or whatever it is, because all those lessons were so valuable to me. And obviously it was like super emotional, because I was like, oh my God, everyone has turned against me. And that was like a bitter pill to swallow.
That must have been really hard.
Yeah, it was really hard to swallow.
Where did you go from, like in that moment, where did you go from there to elicit the wisdom out of that situation?
I think what I learned was knowing when to quit. And obviously an entrepreneur's ego is, I can turn this around, I can get them all to love me again, or whatever it is. But and I tried a little bit, but I had to be real with myself.
So that was a situation that was like, it's done, I have to walk away from this.
Yeah. But we were also struggling to raise money, and I told everyone, like, look, you need to start looking for jobs now. And so that was a interesting lesson.
That definitely was an interesting That was a tough one, but it's probably was, I guess, a gift in a way, because it was probably the reason that you've made Relax My Dog so successful.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. Or everything I learned from that. So my VCs, my angels, my team, everyone, every lesson I took from that, I'm so grateful for, because it helped me, like, more importantly, know what I want as a CEO.
Or know how you want to be a CEO, like your style and your leadership style. And
yeah. But more importantly, know what type of business I want to build. Like that business I was building to raise a lot of money, to hopefully exit and whatever it is, and have loads of team, like a big team and loads of employees. But this was more, let me go back to the book that inspired me in the first place, The 4-Hour Workweek, which is about lifestyle, automation,
scaling.
And scaling to an extent where it doesn't affect your lifestyle. If you want to be, I guess, who's a good example? Gary V, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk, where he works, he's obsessed with business and 100 hours a week, whatever it is. And I thought to myself, I don't want to be like that. I want lifestyle and automation and freedom, and then whatever happens, happens. That's it. So it was kind of a moment when I went into a room, looked at a whiteboard, and I drew 2 paths. And I thought, okay, I can continue in this business, raise money and whatever it is, and then hope for an exit, because it was all like user-based driven and all revenue further down the line. Or I could take Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat, and maybe build it to like a multi-million-dollar business, but in a manageable way.
And keep the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah. And it was like, for me, it was, at first I thought, oh, am I taking the easy route? But I realized I'm not taking the easy route. I'm taking the route that I truly want. And
what age were you when you went into that room and drew the 2 paths on the whiteboard?
I think like 27, 28.
So that was you were still so young, like, to go through all of that at that age.
Like, something along those lines, yeah. And then I just took Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat full time.
So when you took Relax My Dog and Relax My Cat full time, what were I mean, obviously it was doing well, and it was kind of like you said, it was your side hustle type business. What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome to make it the multi-million-dollar business that it is today? How did you overcome them?
The thing is, I don't think there were challenges, but I can't even think of any, because for me it was just day by day. How do I get a little bit bigger, and that was it. I didn't have any specific goals or any specific business plan or whatever.
So you had no roadmap for, oh, this is where I want.
No, I was just making it up as I was.
Really?
Which is pretty much what I do now. Still.
So you had no kind of roadmap for how it was going to become successful. You just kind of checked. You just went day by day and like worked on it every day, and it just unfolded.
Yeah. If I had a roadmap, it'd be maximum like 3 months ahead.
Okay.
That was it. But challenges wise, I think for me it was just, how do I scale? How do I grow my revenue? How do I grow my profit? And scale through as many distribution platforms as possible. And maybe there were challenges, but I don't know. I just saw them
not like the one that you mentioned in your previous business. It wasn't like that type of, oh, this was the big challenge that I overcame. It just, I guess it was just the grind, right?
It was just the grind.
Yeah. Did you have advisors? Did you have people helping you? So it was just you kind of figuring it out?
Just me. So I own 100% of the business.
You own 100% of the business?
Yeah. No advisors, none of that stuff.
But you read a lot, right? You seem, from knowing you, but you're like really into kind of taking lessons from other entrepreneurs, or who've been your role models like in the business world that you sort of benchmark yourself against, or that you try to emulate?
Role models in the business world.
Tim Ferriss, I guess.
I'd say, yeah, but that was then at that time. Now, specifically, I wouldn't know who would. I don't think there's anyone I follow.
Really? No.
I
guess that's maybe a good thing. You just like forging your own path.
Yeah, there's only so much you can consume in business education. And I thought, okay, I've read enough books, I've listened to enough podcasts.
Yeah.
What else is there? Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And it's really the day by day thing, isn't it? It's just the grind of like putting in the hours over years, to get it to this point now where it's, I mean, now that it's so successful, do you think you'd ever consider an exit and do something else, or is it something that you want to stick with?
I love this business. I love what I do, and if an exit is going to help grow this business quicker, and it's the right partner, then let's see.
You'll see.
Yeah. If not, let's continue doing it.
Because you love it.
Yeah. And I can't think of another business idea. What would I do next? Create organic pet food? That's boring. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Go into property? That's boring. Everyone does it.
Yeah. Plus there's like, 1 billion pets in the world. So if you've got 50 million pet fans, there's still so many more to reach, right?
Yeah, there's like loads of scratching, literally not even a surface.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like crypto, NFT. No, that's just hype. So yeah, I'll just continue doing this and milk it as much as possible.
Milk your 70% profit margins as much as you can.
As much as possible, yeah.
That's really cool. What about for young people starting out, or in university who want to become entrepreneurs or start their own business? What advice would you give to young people? What's the most precious piece of advice that you think you could share?
I'd say like start as soon as possible, fail as soon as possible. Start and fail as soon as possible. If you don't fail, then that's amazing. You're succeeding.
Just like start.
And just drive revenue as quickly as possible. Don't go down this trap of creating pitch decks, looking for VCs or any of this stuff. Just create revenue, because at the end of the day, the market determines your success. And if your product is good enough, they'll pay for it.
That's interesting, because that's really contrary to what a lot of people would think, right? It's the whole that whole world is usually always about raise capital, like, you know, get investors. So you're saying focus on creating a profitable business.
Yeah, well, the world is changing now. I remember doing a talk in New York around bootstrapping,
Okay.
and it is now becoming very much, especially in America, slowly becoming quite bootstrap led.
Versus, you know, angel investors.
Raise. But this is the first time in 10 years money is now becoming expensive.
Yeah.
Prior to that, money was cheap.
What about the pet world here? It's burgeoning. It's like still nascent. It's still. I feel like it's going to grow so much. You know, people,
yeah,
in the Middle East.
100% is getting bigger and bigger. Like, we look at our traffic, and it is growing in this region.
I mean, I was in Saudi recently, and I saw some people walking their dogs, which is the first time I saw people do that there. You know, because it's not normally a place where people have pets, but I think it's starting to really take off there. People getting a dog or a cat.
Yeah. It's taking off, and especially India.
Oh, in India,
India
really?
is taking off dramatically.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's the same trend that you're seeing all over the world. The humanization of pets, the way the world is going in terms of the economy, cost of living, and people choosing to have less or no kids, and as a result want to have pets. And in India, I think people are having less kids.
So they get a pet instead.
Yeah. So that was the trend that's happening now.
And people spoil their pets, right? I mean, in general, I guess people who are tuning into your channel, you have a subscriber model, right? On
our website, yeah.
On your website,
yeah.
So it's a very nominal amount. It's like $5 or something.
$5 a month. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like anyone who loves their pets probably wouldn't think twice about signing up for that. I've read things about in the States, like people getting their dogs manicures and acupuncture and all sorts.
They do loads.
They
do loads. Even grooming services. Everything's organic. Everything is. The amount of money people put on pets.
On their pets. It's crazy.
And it's going to go more and more.
Yeah, I read some study this Christmas that they were surveying people of how much money they're going to spend on their partner, on their pet, on their parents-in-law, and it was by far the most on their pets. So like buying their dog an outfit, or, you know, doggy clothes, or, you know, a new bed or something for their pets. They were happy to kind of invest in gifts for their dogs or cats.
Yeah.
And
it'll continue.
Yeah, I think so.
It will continue.
I mean, it makes sense if people are having less kids. Like, they have to put their love somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And pets don't answer back.
They don't answer back. They just love you. Yeah. Well, dogs do. I'm not sure about cats. But Amman, what does success mean to you now, after all the journey that you've been through? How do you define success?
Freedom and legacy.
Legacy and freedom.
Yeah.
What do you mean by those two things?
A freedom to do whatever you want, when you want, however you want. And I think, you know, once again, people go chase millions and millions. But you actually don't need a lot of money to have freedom anyway. And then in terms of legacy is, once again, if you're building a business, do it to build something that has an impact. And then the money comes. But once again, people chase the money. And I think, legacy is the most important thing, because this is gonna. And the reason why I say that is, I know that this music has had an impact on the lives of many pets, the music, the TV, everything, to the point where people have used our content, I think, since 2013 or whatever it is. And we get messages, to say that they've tried everything to help their dog with their anxiety and all that, and then their dog passes away.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, oh, can we use this music for my dog's funeral?
Oh gosh.
Because this was the only thing that helped, and it's a way of like remembering them. And these messages that we get, you're like, wow, that was so an important part of that dog's life,
Mm-hmm.
that has left a legacy on the owner, like a memory on the owner, and it's just one of many stories.
That's really meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and is that what you want? I mean, you're still so young, so what else do you think about when you think what you'd like your legacy to be? Just having a meaningful impact into people's lives. Like, what you're doing is obviously putting a lot of good into the world.
Yeah.
But do you have more kind of ambitions about what you'd like your legacy, the legacy that you leave, to be?
I don't know, because I honestly don't think too far ahead.
It seems to be working for you really well, though.
It is kind of weird that I've got this far just winging it, but it seems to work.
But I think you have a lot of good intentions, though. It seems to be.
Yeah.
You know, you always seem to do things with a really good intention.
Yeah. And I think it's just, if you don't put, I think if you have a plan in place, it removes an element of creativity and playful energy. Mm-hmm. And I think, especially in the business that I'm in, mm-hmm. I need to make sure creativity stays at the forefront as much as possible.
And you have a really good relationship with your music producer partner, Ricardo, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have worked together for years.
10 years.
And do you meet often, or is it...
I've never met him.
What?
I've never met him. He lives in El Salvador, and I've never met him, which is cool.
How is that possible?
Oh no. I should go. We should arrange to meet up.
So do you have Zoom calls, and how do you collaborate?
We either do WhatsApp voice. We used to have Zoom calls, but we don't do it. We just built a system in place where it was, right, Ricardo, do this, and that was it. And in terms of the whole business, was pretty much like, let's just have a system in place. So even with my team, everyone just follows, but not in a rigorous way. Yeah, still obviously be creative or whatever, but the system is there to be efficient. So,
and I guess you trust each other.
Yeah.
So that's vital.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you haven't met him in person. I wonder what it's going to be like when you actually meet in person. It will be strange after so many years.
After all that time, yeah. It'll be good to meet him, though. I think hopefully at some point.
I'm guessing soon.
Yeah. At some point
you should
soon.
do a trip to Central America.
I think maybe not El Salvador. He did say probably not a smart idea to come here. But he did say maybe Guatemala City.
Yeah.
Because that is slowly changing.
I've been to Guatemala. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's amazing. So I think it's like a 3-hour drive for him. So yeah, maybe.
That's cool. Well, so in this journey, what are you most proud of so far? Or in your life, what are you most proud of? Not just anything that comes to mind. What's something that you've done that you're most proud of?
What am I proud of? Yeah, I bought my dad a Tesla.
Okay.
So that was...
Like, how did that feel when you were able to do it? It must have been amazing to be able to give back to your parents like that.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good feeling, especially knowing that obviously where my parents have come from, the struggle and all that stuff, just to be like, right, Dad, Tesla. and I wanted to buy it in a position where obviously not from a place of or finance or lease or anything.
No, just like give him
straight up all cash. Just buy it.
But, smooth.
Yeah. But in a way where I think it was more just of from a place of where it had very, very little impact on me as well, because I wanted to be in a position where I could do that and it would do like nothing. But not from a place of I guess, arrogance
No.
or whatever it is, but from a place of
Generosity.
yeah, and from a place of just seeing, I guess, where my parents have come from, to then kind of be like, maybe have a bit of a, oh wow, he can do this and it has no impact on him. So that was it. And I think it was just, that's how, yeah, he loves it. Especially in Leeds, in Armley, he felt like a celebrity.
Really?
Because everyone, there was no Teslas at the time.
Okay.
So everyone was like knocking on his window, like, oh my God, is that a Tesla? Etc. etc.
That's crazy. That's so that was a few years ago then. It must be,
yeah. Now everyone has a Tesla,
yeah.
whatever.
But at the time,
yeah.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
That's pretty cool that you were able to do that for your parents. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And then just I guess other stuff like, you know, taking them on trips and holidays
and stuff like that. So you spoke about the Tim Ferriss book, The 4 Hour Workweek. That really was a book that had a massive impact on your life. And I know that you're very much into kind of learning things and being new things and being the best version of yourself. What other books can you share that really impacted your life, or that changed your thinking, or that you felt helped you in your journey in life as an entrepreneur or in your personal life?
I would say the books I'm reading now, all the spiritual, I guess, energy related books. So I don't really read any entrepreneur stuff now.
Okay.
But Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural, his other book, You Are the Placebo. And then the one that I'm listening to right now is Inner Engineering, A Yogi's Guide to Joy.
The Sadhguru book.
So yeah. And then Untethered Soul.
Oh, that one's really good. That's
It is.
Yeah. What's the name of the author of that book again?
Michael Singer?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, all these books are super powerful in the sense that it allows you to think about your health mentally, physically, from a different perspective, and energy and law of attraction and all that. I find just really fascinating.
Why do you find it fascinating?
For example, in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, where he puts, like, one example where he said nothing is physical.
Okay.
Everything is energy. This table is actually not physical. If you go down onto like a subatomic level, it's just, you know, a tiny bit of atom. A majority, it's just energy, empty space. And I found that so fascinating that everything is held together by energy. And if you learn more about that, you can attract that into your life. And and I guess in a way, just, I think you're more tapped into controlling yourself and your emotions as well, which I find quite fascinating.
You mean if you tap into that knowledge, that you're able to control your own emotions better?
Yeah. And I think even in business, you can manifest some crazy stuff. And I think those books, they just allow you to look at life from a different perspective. A different perspective but from a place of peace and gratitude.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
That's how I find those books quite fascinating. And I definitely want to learn more about it. Even recently I started doing yoga.
Okay.
I found yoga classes, I've always wanted to go, but I found it like super intimidating.
Why?
Because everyone's like in amazing shape. And then I thought,
you're in pretty good shape. Come on, you're being a bit hard on yourself.
Yeah.
So what was that like, going and starting yoga?
It was good. It was good because it was hot yoga.
Oh, that's tough.
It
The
was tough.
Bikram yoga.
Yeah, it was tough. But firstly, you don't have your phone with you,
Yeah.
and you're focused, and you do the meditation, you do everything else, and you just really disconnect. But you're more in tune with your body. Like, right, how do I push this stretch a little bit hard? And you start to realize, oh wow, my body can stretch this far and everything, and then once you leave, you just feel
On a different level, yeah.
compared to you go to the gym. Like, even now when I go to the gym, I used to listen to like hip hop and all that stuff, but you're raising your heart rate in a false way. So now when I go to the gym, I listen to meditation music, and that's it. So I'm like so focused on the workouts
And the muscle-mind connection.
the muscle-mind connection and all that stuff. And now I find like going to the gym, like my meditation rather than my, head
like
rush.
pumping. Yeah.
So all this stuff is fascinating, and then that links into like nutrition and food. I'm starting to learn a lot more about food. I think all the like stress, etc.
Yeah.
Like, even when you stress out, I think chemically actually release
Cortisone. Yeah.
which is toxic for your body, right?
I think especially over, long periods of time, like people who have post-traumatic stress and things, where can't remember now where I was reading this, but I think it was on the Andrew Huberman podcast, maybe. They were talking about PTSD, and people think it's just, a lot of the time the perception of PTSD is that you had one really traumatic thing happen to you, but actually people that have been in stressful situations for prolonged periods of time where they were experiencing trauma, like kids maybe who grew up in a violent upbringing or household where there was a lot of instability and things like that, that's also can cause PTSD when you get older. So like stress being released into your body all the time, the cortisone, and it's very detrimental. So tapping into this world that you're talking about, like the Joe Dispenza stuff and the Sadhguru and the untethered soul, it's so powerful to counteract
100%.
the effects of,
It is. And I think especially if you're an entrepreneur and growing a business, you have your ups and downs all the time. But I think, going back to challenges of what you said, I think it's very hard for me to think of a challenge because the ups and downs have become normalized. So like if I, have a down period, for some people that might be a challenge. For me, it's just, okay, this is a problem. I'm going to chill. Just chill. Be grateful. Just, tap into everything that you have right now. And then approach it from a place of no stress and figure out how to turn it around. And then eventually you do. I am pretty lucky though, because a lot of people have said from like a long time ago that I'm naturally super chilled. So I think that kind of played in my favor, and then I think realizing that allowed me to build on top of it.
For sure. I mean, it's part, like, some people are more prone to worry or stress than others, but it seems like you've, learning about all of these other kind of ways of thinking has enhanced that part of your personality even more. Like, yeah,
definitely. And I think, as I guess any advice to anyone that's starting or wanting to start a business is just try, which is very, very hard, is try to manage your emotions, because you will have the ups and downs. And more importantly, try to build a business around what life you want as well.
What life did you want?
I think I wanted a Tim Ferriss thing, the Tim Ferriss life. I think it was a bit of a shock because that answer came to me straight away. I was like, this is way too good to be true. And that's the life that I was building. But I started reading, at the time, tech crunch and all this stuff. And to be a proper entrepreneur, you have to raise $10 million, a $100 million valuation.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be, you know, just raising and raising and raising. And I thought, oh, that's how you are a like proper entrepreneur. Build.
So that was how you were defining success then?
Then, yeah, I was defining it to build for the exit, for that one thing, that one moment. And then, but build in a way where you're a CEO, you're working, you're hustling. You know, this whole hustle culture is so toxic.
Do you think that, because that's very pervasive, that culture, even now, right? The hustle culture,
Yeah. If you look on Instagram, all these entrepreneurs, it's all about the hustle. It's very materialistic. Yeah, it's insane. Especially here, there's it's quite materialistic
in
the entrepreneur area, and but then you look behind it, half of these people that act wealthy are not wealthy whatsoever. And but that promotes it. And then people want to buy that Rolex, buy that whatever Ferrari, etc., etc. But if you look under, like behind the curtains, there's no success there. And I would say, yeah, the hustle culture is toxic. Don't get
wrapped up in the hustle culture.
Yeah, and don't get wrapped into the raise culture or any of that stuff. Just really ask yourself, what lifestyle do you want, and then build a business around that to serve that lifestyle.
I mean, some I can see how, like, depending on the business. I mean, yours, that makes sense, but like if it was, you know, an AI business or a healthcare business where the entrepreneur needed funds.
Oh, you need to raise.
Yeah, like if they have to build a hospital or something, or they're trying to build, you know, I can understand that. But I think you're 100% right about not getting wrapped up in that. You know, you're doing it just for a rate. You're doing it to plan just to exit, you know, just to make loads of money. Because then, I mean, how can the business really, it depends on the founder, right? You know, do they have passion? Are they seeing this through for the long haul? Would they do it whether they made money or not? You know, right? Or what?
It's so funny because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I come across where the first thing they say is, "This is my exit strategy."
What do you think of that? I mean, I just feel that that's a super bad sign for an entrepreneur.
It's greed.
The entrepreneurs that I've met that spoke like that so far have always ended in a bad way.
Because you're chasing money.
You're just doing it for the money. It's not.
Yeah, you're chasing money. If you have an exit strategy from day one, I think you need to really work on yourself first.
I think so. Because like, how do you go through all the grindy stuff and the really tough times and the times that, you know, no one even maybe believes in you, or, you know, that's part of building a successful business, is like you go through those days like an athlete, like all the days where they're up at 4 a.m. training and nobody's there and nobody's cheering them on, and it's all for that one moment where they win, you know, and everyone thinks they're amazing, but like they went through so much stuff to get to that point. It's the same for most successful entrepreneurs, like they went through a lot to get there. But if you're like an entrepreneur going, this is my exit strategy, and you're thinking that way, I mean, how do you get through all the shitty stuff, you know?
Exactly. So it goes back to the question you asked me earlier, like, do I want to exit or whatever it is? Maybe, because like I said, I've built my business now to a point where I can think about exiting. But do I have to? Do I need to? I'm under pressure? No.
And it was never your plan?
Never my plan anyway. And because I remind myself every day that, like, oh my God, my business, this is crazy. I can't believe I do this. It's fucking crazy.
What's
nutrition
next?
And health. What's next in the business?
Just in your life, what do you want to... I mean, you want to keep building Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat, and what else? Is there anything next on the cards?
I don't know, actually. I've not really thought that far ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, just continue building the business, and maybe travel a bit more, but
That's
it
for now.
literally. It's interesting you asked me that question, what next? I don't even know what I'm doing next week.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kind of envy you, so that's really awesome. No, I really wish you the best. Maybe you're going to go meet Ricardo this year.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
it's looking. There's a few things happening in the background, so it's looking, yeah, very likely.
That's cool. Well, look, I really wish you the best for the next year for Relax My Dog and for you and your personal life. And I'm really grateful that you came here today to do this interview. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you, Amman.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.